August 2000, a team of divers discovers an unknown World War II wreck 80 miles off the coast of New Jersey.
It's a remote location. You're a long ways away from help if you need it.
It's a warship with no name, 260 feet underwater. The mysterious wreck leads them on a 2-year journey through a maze of clues and dead ends.
I remember thinking, this is a big find.
All evidence points to the nearly forgotten 60-year-old tragedy of the USS Murphy.
To the Navy, it almost didn't happen, as it really did happen. To the men of the Murphy, it was a totally different story.
It was a very dark night, black.
We knew they were in the water, and there's no way we could help them.
What really happened to this mystery ship, and what determined the fate of its crew?
Welcome to Point Pleasant, New Jersey. I'm John Chatterton. During World War II, the waters off New Jersey were a very dangerous place, a battlefield. German U-boats came here to hunt Allied merchant ships. I guess I should know, back in 1991, I discovered the wreckage of a German U-boat only 58 miles from the beach I'm standing on right now. In the year 2000, a team of deep shipwreck divers left Point Pleasant to explore what they thought was the remains of one of those hundreds of merchant ships sunk along the East Coast. What they found wasn't a merchant ship, it was a mystery. And sometimes solving one mystery only leads to another.
The floor of the ocean is littered with shipwrecks. When deep wreck divers head to a new location, we often don't know what we'll find. It may be a barge or even a pile of rocks. But sometimes it's something so unique, we're compelled to uncover its story. August 25th, 2000. Captain Dan Kroll leads an expedition that will uncover lost history. He has a lead on a new mysterious wreck and is taking a team of divers out to find out what it is.
I'm here with Danny Kroll. Hey, Danny.
Hey, John.
In the year 2000, he led a team of experienced deep shipwreck divers to a site 75 miles off the New Jersey coast in some 260 feet of water. Now, Danny and I aren't strangers. I've known him for almost 20 years. Danny, what is it about shipwreck diving that interests you most?
Well, John, it's the challenge is important, but it's the link with history that really separates shipwreck diving from all other diving disciplines.
So where'd you get the information?
A fisherman, a friend of mine, suggested that we check out this one set of coordinates that he referred to as the Liberty ship.
One thing about these fishermen, they know where everything is on the bottom out there. The problem is they never leave the surface, so they may know where stuff is, they just don't know what it is.
It's up to the divers to first figure out what kind of ship this is. Not an easy task when they're looking at a hunk of twisted steel, but not nearly as daunting as identifying it. Only Captain Danny Kroll knows exactly where the expedition is headed. He keeps the coordinates a secret, and the divers are forbidden to carry GPS.
Basically, dive boat captains kind of live by their GPS numbers, at least for new finds and for secret wrecks. GPS numbers are kind of like intellectual property.
Kroll's numbers take him 7 hours from the New Jersey coast. As the divers descend on the mystery wreck, light starts to fade at around 100 feet. Dives deeper than 130 feet are no longer considered recreational. They take expert training and experience. At 260 feet, the divers find a twisted metal hull.
It's like going and seeing a house that a bulldozer just ran into. You can identify a door and a ladder and a window, but you can't identify what it was. Was it a garage or was it a house? I don't know, because you can't see it in one big piece.
My first glimpse of the wreck was just nondescript wreckage jutting up in an angle and in shadow.
At first, they think this mysterious wreck is a Liberty ship, one of the hundreds of merchant ships that were torpedoed by German U-boats along the East Coast.
During the early years of the war, the Germans placed dozens and dozens of German submarines off the east coast of the United States to disrupt shipping.
The Germans went after the merchant ships because they knew how important it was to keep that flow of supplies from getting to its destination.
A lot of the torpedo attacks were witnessed by people on the beach in New Jersey and New York, Long Island area.
Circumstantial evidence makes a strong case for this wreck being a sunken Liberty ship. Then some of the divers make a startling discovery.
Suddenly I came upon this huge barrel, and then in limited visibility I can make out the turret. And I saw the telescope, the aiming telescope that was mounted on the side of the gun.
As soon as I saw the guns, I knew it was some kind of naval ship or something that dealt with Navy, Army, or it was some kind of warship.
This doesn't look like a Liberty ship. Could this unidentified wreck be a World War II destroyer? Divers have been exploring these waters for years, and none of them have ever heard of any World War II warship being lost here.
I remember thinking, this is a big find. This is something important.
If the mystery wreck is a destroyer, these divers have a shot at uncovering an untold piece of World War II history. Diver Richie Kohler hunts for clues. He spends 25 minutes on the bottom. Then just before he starts his ascent, he grabs an aluminum porthole from the sand.
I realized that it might have some mark on it. It may have the manufacturer, it may have a stamp, it may say United States Navy. It might have some identifying mark on it that could help me identify at least what type of ship this is, or maybe what year it was built.
Topside, the divers put their clues together, but they come up empty. By the end of their trip, they can't even agree on what kind of wreck this is.
I, amongst a couple others, said it was a destroyer. A couple people said it might be a Liberty ship.
This twisted hunk of metal turns out to be an intriguing puzzle. If any of the divers are going to identify this ship, they first have to figure out what it is. I'm going to talk to Dan Kroll again to see what he thinks.
So what did you find on your first dive to the site? Did you find an intact shipwreck? Well, what I saw, John, was a portion of a shipwreck. Twisted metal covered in nets.
260 feet of water, 75 miles from shore.
The few things that I could recognize through the nets, like the 20mm machine gun tub or some of the superstructure, it would be consistent with a Liberty ship.
Now, all of the other guys, they came up, were they in agreement that this was a Liberty ship?
Well, let's just say everyone had an opinion. But Richie Kohler came up from his dive and said, hey, I think we have a destroyer here. And when we got back, he began research to support that theory.
I've been diving off the East Coast waters for years. I thought that if there was a destroyer out there, I'd know about it. I wanted to see what Richie Kohler found out. He and I both have a great deal of experience identifying shipwrecks. In fact, Richie has worked with me as a deep-sea detective.
So what was it about this particular wreck that interested you?
Well, it was special in that it's a deep X, so we knew that we were the first people here. Number two, it was special in that it wasn't what we anticipated. We went down thinking it's a Liberty ship. When it wound up being something totally different, well, you know, that kind of whet my appetite.
Sure, but not everybody who dove the wreck agreed with you.
Well, you know, limited visibility, 20-minute dive, there's no way that I saw everything. But based upon what I did see, I just stuck those known features on here.